Hi, my name is Louie. I'm 14. Do you love your parents? Do you love them so much that you're ready to forgive them for their terrible actions? I do. As long as I can remember myself, I never saw anything other than the walls of my home. My entire universe fit into 2 floors and was split into a living room, a kitchen, a hallway, and my room. All the windows in my house were taped over with black, impenetrable tape, and they didn't open. Father would lock the doors leading outside with a universal key, always strapped to his belt. I never exited the house. The outside world didn't exist any more for me than the world of comic books does for you. No matter how many times I asked my parents to let me go outside, they always said no. They said that they want to protect me. They said that all kids around the world live as I do, because the outside world is full of danger, and the biggest one was a shadow in a cape. According to them, this person kidnapped children and did very bad things with them. But I didn't believe them. For me, it was just another of my parents' fairy tales meant to keep me at home. One day, Father lost his key. He looked around the house but couldn't find it, because I found it first. Finally, I had a chance to see what was on the other side of the door. I carefully planned my escape. I waited for my parents to fall asleep and sneaked past them and went to the door. I unlocked the door with ease and was already prepared to run off with freedom. I snapped the door open and saw him. A huge figure in a wide cape and wide-brimmed hat was right on the doorstep. It was him, the shadow in the cape. From fear, I quickly slammed the door and yelled in such a way that my mom instantly appeared beside me, as though she had been waiting around the corner. I asked her to call Dad over so that he can protect me, but she said he was already outside chasing off the shadow. That night remained a nightmarish memory. I never again asked permission to go outside. I continued living in my universe, looking through the only non-taped window, which was carved right into the ceiling of my room. Though I could see the sky, sun, and the top of the trees, I was a prisoner in my own home, but I was thankful that my parents protected me. But one day, everything changed. That evening, as always, I watched the sun go down. Suddenly, I noticed a silhouette hanging on top of a tree. It was a girl the same age as me. I couldn't believe my eyes. What was she doing on top of the tree? Getting away from the shadow? But she laughed instead of being scared. She saw me and waved to me. I don't know why, but I got scared and I didn't go back to the window that evening. The next morning, I noticed a wrinkled paper airplane lying on my window. And though the window was locked, I knew a sneaky way of opening it a little bit. The airplane was a letter from that girl. Her name was Summer. She was our neighbor, and she asked why I don't go out. I took a sheet of paper, wrote my name, and that I'm scared of falling into the hands of the shadow in a cape. Then I threw my letter outside. That's how our correspondence started. She told me something very strange, that no shadow exists, and that normal children go outside, go to school, and leave their house whenever they want. At first, I didn't believe her, but her words were so convincing that I no longer had any doubts. Either Summer was the shadow's front man, or something even scarier. My parents were lying. During dinner, I asked my parents about internet, school, and cinemas. They calmly told me they never heard of these words, but it was impossible not to notice the fright in their eyes. The next morning, they searched through my room and found Summer's letters. That was the first time I saw Father enraged. There was so much anger in his eyes that I was not less scared of him than I was of the shadow in the cape. I was punished and locked into my room with 5 locks. They took away all my pens and pencils, forbid me from reading, and understanding how I had opened it, Father boarded up the window. I understood that I'd never again see the sun come up. But the scariest thing was that my parents had been lying to me my whole life. Month after month went by. My parents stopped talking to me. It seemed like I was a traitor to them. I no longer got any letters from Summer. I became the loneliest person on the planet. But one night, that same window was broken. Someone from the outside world was breaking into my room, breaking the boards. I was scared and started calling my parents for help. They instantly ran over, hearing my yelling. I heard as they started unlocking the numerous locks on my door, but they didn't make it in time. It was Summer. She broke through and threw me a rope. "Climb up faster," she yelled. I had not a second of doubt and climbed to her. For the first time in my life, I was going out into the outside world. I felt the wind, smell of grass, and the noise of leaves. It was really something. Summer gave me the rope and ordered me to go down first. You know, it was probably at that moment that I understood that I was in love with this unmannered girl. As soon as I stepped onto the grass, I saw the thing I tried to forget about, the one who was in my nightmares every night. From out of the corner, I saw him, the shadow. I was literally frozen from fear. He slowly and threateningly came toward me. Only a few feet separated us, which is when Summer got down the rope and was right on his path. "Oh God, Summer, he's going to steal her. I can't let it happen." That moment, I got over my fear and jumped to the shadow and knocked him down. I heard a woman scream and police sirens. I took the shadow by the cape and yanked it off, seeing that behind the image of the child kidnapper, behind the image of my worst nightmare was my father. From shock, I literally forgot how to breathe and silently peered into my father's eyes, cold and hard. The police arrested my parents. The last thing Mom said before she was put into the car was, "Sorry, you'll understand everything when you find out the truth." During the court proceeding, Mom and Dad repented of having denied their own son's freedom. When the judge asked my mom, why, she said something that made me love them even more than I had. She said that I had an older brother, but he went missing before I was even born. He was just 7 and was playing with the other kids right in front of our house. She had been watching after him from the kitchen window while Father watched from the garage, but as soon as they stopped paying attention for just a couple of minutes, he disappeared. The other kid said a man in a cape and a wide-brim hat had taken him. He took my brother by the hand and put him into his car and drove away. He wasn't found. And so, on the eve of my birth, they decided to protect me no matter what. They told me stories about the man in the cape and the hat, so then I was always ready in case I met the kidnapper. My parents' case was exceptional because I, the victim, the one who was denied a normal life, asked the judge only one thing: to let them go. Everything seemed to be the same way my parents described. The outside world is scary and treacherous. Its laws are not at all fair. It's doubtful the words of a 14-year-old boy will change anything. Now, my parents may face a long prison sentence, but I will do everything to protect them and free them. Summer's parents offered to take care of me and become my temporary guardians. I'm sure it was thanks to her. Now I have started going to a normal school, going outside at night with Summer, and exploring the world that used to be just an image for me. You know what? Freedom is a damn nice thing. Thanks for being with me these few minutes. Do you have problems with your parents? Let others know in the comments. Give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. See you soon.